Week 12, we're here. We're at the end of your 12-week program. In this week, we're going to be looking at doing supersets, and we want to make sure that everything that you've learned in these last 12 weeks is really starting to come together in this final week. So we've been building and building and building each week that we're going through, and this week with supersets, it gets lovely and hard, just as with last week with week 11. So what we're going to be doing is 7 sets of exercises, and beginners, intermediates and advanced, you're all going to have slightly different timings. The important thing to do with this is to remember to take it and focus on the positioning and on the technique that you're going to be using. Try not to go too fast through it. If you're starting to lose the technique, focus on that technique, because if you're starting to get tired, that's going to be the main thing to really watch and to ensure that you stay nice and safe on these exercises. So as a beginner, we're looking at 2 sets, about 20 seconds per exercise. So your first exercises are going to be the reverse fly into WYTIs into reverse fly. So you're doing 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, and then resting, and then you're going on to the next set of exercises. So we're working back to back for 3 exercises within the superset. For intermediates, you're going to work around about 30 seconds on. Advanced, you're looking at 30 seconds as well, 30 to 40 seconds. You can do up to 4 sets as advanced, 3 sets as intermediate, 2 sets as a beginner. In order to be able to progress, you can start to reduce the amount of rest time that you have, therefore it's going to make it a lot more hip-based. But remember, work on the form and your technique all the way through these exercises. Absolutely crucial that you remember that and you get into the correct positioning on these exercises, because you'll get a lot more results from it. So, let's have a little look at the workout. So, as I said, first exercise is the superset. So we're doing 3 exercises back to back. And that is, the first ones are the reverse fly, then into WYTI, and then reverse fly. 20 seconds for beginners, 30 seconds for intermediate, 30 seconds to 40 seconds for advanced, depending on how you're doing. Remember, you can go deep into these, but the first one is the reverse fly, keeping the arms nice and straight, keep your tummy tucked in, let you bend your wrists so that you can then pull yourself up, keeping the arms nice and straight. Focus on your back muscles, keeping your feet flat on the floor. Alright, it makes it harder when your feet are flat, because you're not rocking on your heels. So keep those arms super straight. When we come up into WYTIs in a sec, we're going to come up a little bit higher so that we can work on the body positioning. So WYTIs into that W position, up into the Y, out into the T again, and then up into the I, keeping that body nice and straight. W, Y, T, I. And now we're going to go back into the reverse fly. So again, down a little bit more, up. Try not to push your hips forward too much. Allow the body to come up using the arms. Don't throw your hips forwards. It's getting harder now. Remember, it's quite grippy this, because you're constantly pulling on the grips. And if you want, you can come up a little bit higher, just to make it a little bit easier to keep the form and technique. And rest there. So now you can put in a bit of a rest, up to about 30 seconds. If you need a little bit more, then you can take that a little bit extra, but it's just going to mean the workout gets that a little bit longer. Or you can go straight in to the next one, okay? So the next one is reverse lunge into a jump squat, into reverse lunge. So reverse lunge, we're going to do an alternating. Try not to use the straps too much, use them there for a little bit of support if you need it. So we're just stepping back and forth. So I've not got too much strap tension. And then we're going to go into the jump squats. So from here, jump squats. Make them nice and powerful, landing on your toes all the way through. Remember, then you've got to go into reverse lunge at the end of it. So reverse lunge. If you're not feeling it off the jump squats, you can always make these jump lunges. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it after the jump squats. So all the way through. And rest there. So that was pretty much 30 seconds on each of them. Heart rate should be elevated. So then we're into the next exercise, the next superset of tricep press into push out, into tricep press. So 30 seconds for intermediate and advanced, 20 seconds for beginners. Now don't let the handles come together when they're in front of you or as they go back behind the head. Keep the arms independent, keep your feet together, keep the body position locked so that you get that flow and that movement all the way through. So we're now on 30 seconds for that. Then into a push out. So I'm going to go back a little bit more to my push out all the way through. Again, don't let the arms come together because that makes it easier as you go through it. Hold that body position nicely. Slow the exercise down. And then we're on to triceps again. All the way through, hold that body position. If it helps, tuck your tummy in, squeeze your glutes. So that helps to keep your hips nice and straight. Look straight ahead of you. So that way you can function and focus nicely on your workout and your body positioning. And that should be the end of that piece. That's another 30 seconds, so 30 seconds on each of them. Remember, beginners, you're just 20 seconds on those. I'm going to shorten the straps. And we've got skater into pistol into skater. These are alternating each leg. So I'm going to come down, just alternating. If you want, you can make these jump ones. Try not to travel too far as you're doing it. Try and stay on the same spot. Remember, you can slow this down, you don't have to do the jump. And then you're going to come through pistol squat, alternating down. Take the pressure off the straps if you can. So I'm lowering myself down. As I come up, I'm using my leg, not pulling my arms. Down, pressure. Remember, it's a much bigger exercise when you're focusing that strength in the leg. All the way down, all the way back up. And change back to skater squats. And if you want to, you can do those jump skater squats you get tired, progress it back to the start position. Now we get ready for the next set of side crunches or side tucks into forward pendulums or body saw back into side tucks. Remember, you want the foot loop about mid-shin in height. Come down here. So we've got a few floor exercises next. So, side tucks on bent arms. If you want to make these a little bit more progressive, you can do straight arms. So I'll do one set on bent, one set on straight. So, coming round, nice and steady, nice and controlled. Keep the control, back to the centre, back round again. Yeah, don't do this so that you're constantly swinging. We want to take the swing out of it so that we make it more controlled. If you need to rest on your knees, just rest down on your knees. When you're ready, off you go again. And then coming up to body saw. So hard exercise this one. If all you can do is move backwards and forwards like that, that's cool. If you can go bigger, go bigger. Hold your core in, squeeze your glutes, because that will make the world of difference to what you're doing. Right, I'm going to show you now side tucks from straight arms, coming up to centre to the other side. Nice and controlled, nice and steady. All about control. Just a few more seconds on this, 30 seconds, and relax. So we're going to stay down here now. So we've got planks, bent arm pikes, and then more planks at the end of it. If you think you can do slightly longer on the plank, do that, that's fantastic. So if you're on beginner and you're doing 20 seconds, you think actually I can push this to 30 seconds, that's great. As a beginner, you've now had 12 weeks of strength and conditioning using the bit or the suspension bodyweight straps. And that's a huge amount of work if you're doing that 2 to 3 times in a week. So, plank, straight arm, bent arm pike, into plank. Straight arm, plank. Hands directly underneath your shoulders. Either hands at the front, so fingers facing forwards, or if you want, you can turn your hands sideways. Hold your tummy in, squeeze the glutes, and hold that plank position nice and strong. Don't let your body dip. Keep it up nice and tight. And I'm going to go into bent arms and into the pikes, sorry. So hands either facing the palms up and hands apart. Nice and steady, so say hold it down, 3 seconds, come up, hold, back down, hold, come up, hold, come up. Try not to make the head rest on the floor. Come up. And relax there. That's your 30 seconds. And then we're straight into that plank again. Holding that position nicely. Looking about a foot in front of you. If it hurts on straight arms, you can go into bent arms. If you need to rest your knees on the floor, that's cool, you can. Holding that position. Nice and steady, nice and strong. Coming up for a minute. Almost another 5 seconds. Sorry, a minute, 30 seconds even. And relax there. That's cool. So now you've got your final set of superset where you're going to do a single leg burpee, then you're going to do pendulums, then you're on to burpee again. So I'm going to link the handles together. So I've got a solid platform for my foot to go in. I'm going to start off with my left foot in. So I'm exercising my right leg. You can do this with a push-up if you want. That's absolutely fine. Alternatively, so start with doing a push-up, and then as you go to the next one, you may not want to do push-ups or do push-ups as long as you can when you're doing it. So, single leg burpee, hands down, through, with a little jump. So I'm letting my tummy go all the way to the floor. Tummy and chest must hit the floor. So the thing that I did before I did this exercise was link the handles together. And that's 30 seconds. Now I'm going to unlink the handles. I'm back down on the floor. I've got side pendulums now. And you can do these with bent arms or straight arms. I'll show you both. So bent arm, from here I come across, back to the centre, to the other side. Centre, across, control. All about control. Then coming up from here, come across, control, across, control, across, control. So I'm not swinging the hips, I'm using control to pull the body round. And we're going to rest into, I say rest, not really a rest, straight into right leg in the straps for the burpee. And off we go. Remember, if you're doing a push-up, tummy and chest all the way to the floor. All the way through, keep it going. You get a little bit of rest at the end of this one. Almost there for 30 seconds. Another one to do. And you're done. That's the end of that bit of the workout. So we've gone all the way through the whole superset. You can now rest, have a rest for a minute, and then off you go again. As a beginner, all the way through again. Intermediate, another 2 times. In advance, you can go another 2 or 3 times, entirely up to you. Remember, do them slightly bigger, you can do less sets, but you still get a great workout. Equally, you could do less sets, increase the time. So you can do 30, 40, 45 seconds, but a smaller amount. So I want you guys to push yourselves through those workouts. The more you push, the better results you're going to start to see. As a beginner, try 25 seconds. Try 30 seconds for some of them. See how you feel. For the second round, you might want to do slightly less. So playing around with it makes it a much different workout.